So you've decided to hire a landscape designer. Congratulations on making possibly the smartest financial decision that you've ever made in your entire life. But when that landscape designer delivers that plan to you, do you know what you're looking at? If you're not sure, keep watching and you'll know. I'm Dave Marciniak, landscape designer and owner of Revolutionary Gardens, and I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and it's really not that uncommon for homeowners to sit down in a meeting with me, and I'm going through, and I'm giving the best presentation of my life, and 20 minutes into it, they look at me and they go, "Oh, wait a minute, is that the house?" And they point at a tree. Don't feel bad if that's you, because there are a lot of people like that. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to walk you through so you're not like that, so you understand what it is that you're looking for and you can get the most from your landscape design dollar. Now you can see here we've got a color rendered plan, and I started with this because a colored plan is obviously the easiest one to kind of understand what's going on because it's a little bit more artistically done and it lets you see some pretty obvious simple things. You know, gray is hardscape, in this case flagstone. Brick red is, go figure, brick. A consistent green line is often a grass edge, all your different plants, so it makes it a lot easier to see what's going on. So the first thing you want to do when you look at a plan is understand what the structure or central thing is that this plan is being built around. So for instance, if we were designing around a farm pond, then you would find where the farm pond is first and kind of orient yourself what's where. In this case, this is a townhouse front planting, so it makes it pretty easy. Just identify, okay, this is the wall of the townhouse here, this is my driveway, this is my garage door, and this is my front steps, and this is my entry door into the unit. So once you understand that, you can kind of have a pretty good sense of what it is, at least how you start looking at it. Then from there, start looking at some of the bigger elements. So in this case, you've got your front walk, which is really a major lead element. Pretty easy to figure out what that is. You've got your driveway here, you've got your front steps here, something has to connect those, so that's going to be your front walk. And this is drawn in such a way as to look relatively like flagstone with a brick border. So that's the goal, makes that a little bit easier to understand. Hopefully you're following me so far. After that, something else to look at is, okay, what are the bed shapes? What do the grass edges look like? All that. And so there you can see that's kind of this guy here, and you have a sense for the shape and the flow of the beds. From there, look at the plant material, and that kind of helps you understand how things are laid out too. The bigger your circles or the bigger your squiggles, however it's drawn, that's going to be your trees. You come down a size, that's going to be your shrubs. All the way down, that'll be your perennials, and then if you just got some massings of color, in a lot of cases I do that, that's how I do my annuals, just to kind of show that you can plant this big wash of annuals for seasonal color. Kind of think about it, remember that a plan view is sort of like, imagine that we're in our magical landscape Zeppelin and you're looking down out of the gondola, looking down on your property at this snapshot of what it could be if we're able to take this awesomeness and execute. So think about it that way and you'll have a good sense of how to get started. Now obviously not every drawing is going to be color rendered, and a lot of times my clients have more trouble understanding a black and white drawing, so we're going to look at that next. Now here we have a black and white landscape plan drawing. So you can already see it's a little bit tougher to kind of get a sense of what all is going on because we don't have the pretty colors telling us what is what. Now when I'm presenting something like this, I usually do a color rendered version, but this is what our construction plans look like. In a lot of cases, this is what I give my customers as sort of a markup copy so they can go through and make any changes because people get weird about marking up colored plans. It's kind of strange. It's cute, but it's strange. So you get a black and white drawing. First thing, just like we talked about with the color drawing, figure out where your house is. So in this case, we know that this is the house here. Now you want to orient yourself to how everything sits on the lot. So, okay, where's my front porch? And so I know that I've got a curved front porch, so that's my front porch. Now, where are my back steps? I know I've got a big set of back steps that exist, so that is those. And my driveway's over here. And in a lot of cases, I'll go ahead and I'll actually draw in cars just to make it a little bit easier for people to understand where their driveway is and also get a sense of scale. So from there, like I said on the color drawing, you want to go through and you want to start with the bigger items first. So let's look at the backyard, which is over here, and see what we can identify. So first of all, we've got a really good hint here that the big rectangle here that is labeled pool is the swimming pool. So that's awesome. That's why we try to label as much as we can on the drawings as possible. Now here, we've got the spa spilling into the pool, so we've got a sense of what that is so far. Now you look around that, you know that you're going to have pool decking. You can see that this has sort of a paver texture on it, so that's probably our pool decking coming through here. And we can kind of look and say, okay, so we're going to come out the back doors of the house, we're going to come down the steps, and the pool is laid out in front of us, and what we can do is we can either go down these steps here and go to the pavilions, or we can go down these steps here, come on this side, or we can go all the way out to the driveway. So you start kind of seeing how you're going to move through the space and how that works. The other thing you can do is look at other hardscape items and try to understand what you're looking at. And there's always going to be clues in what you see here. So for example, where we create a little bit of a medallion here and then the paving changed, we know that's where we're trying to kind of move to a different area. And so you can see this is taking us from the pool decking, which is all one homogeneous pavement, to something that transitions us to something that then takes us to a whole new space. So you can think about the flow and how you're moving through your landscape plan. Now, other things are great clues too. Like I mentioned, you've got cars that give you an idea both for scale and also that this is your driveway. But you can see here, this is a dining room table. Looks like a table and chairs from your Magical Landscape Zeppelin, and that's exactly what it is. So this accomplishes two things. By putting a table and chairs there, it shows us, one, that this is a dining area, and two, it shows us the scale of the space, because after all, we've got 10 chairs there. If you're fitting 10 people around an outdoor table, that is a good sized space, so it lets us know that this is a pretty good sized space. Now, you're always going to see symbols on your plan that you don't quite understand, and again, that's where you should ask your landscape designer. We work for you, so if you've got a question about something, it's our job to explain it to you and make you understand it. So in this case, you may look at this and say, well, Dave, I don't quite understand what that is. And as soon as I tell you, this is your outdoor kitchen, all of a sudden, it makes sense. You know you're looking down on it from above, and so, okay, this is my countertop, this is my bar counter, and this is my grill here. Perfect. Makes sense. Same thing, Dave, what the heck is this rectangle here? Well, that's your fireplace. Okay, cool. Now all of a sudden it makes sense. And just like with your colored plan, you've got your plant material, and it's laid out much the same. Your bigger circles, bigger circles, bigger circles, those are going to be your trees. Your smaller circles are going to be your shrubs, and then you get really, really little, and that's your perennials. So look for those. Look for where your grass edge and your bed edges go, so you can, again, get a sense of flow and how you're going to move through the property. And the other important thing is that you're always going to have leaders, which are labels that kind of identify what everything is. Let me go ahead and go to a different sheet here. So this is one where I've just got circles. This is when I color stuff. This is what I do. But it gives you an idea. You can see, so I've got 19 Hemerocallis. I've got 10 Sarcococa. I've got 9 Hosta. I've got 5 Annabelle hydrangeas. So what it does is it shows you that this is what these things are, and that's how you can better understand what's going on in the plan. And if you've got a really, really fancy plan, then you may have something where you've got a full plant table and everything else, and what we try to do is give you the quantity of plants, the size, common name, and botanical name, so it makes it really, really easy for you to understand. So really, plan drawings shouldn't be that big of a mystery, because the whole point of a plan drawing is to communicate. The whole idea behind being a landscape designer is to eliminate uncertainty from the equation. So our goal is to create landscape plans that are going to be easy to read, easy to understand, as long as you understand some basics. And that's really the most important thing to keep in mind when trying to read or understand a landscape plan. I hope that cleared it up for you. So to recap, find the existing feature that we're designing around, whether that's the house, a pond, a pool, anything like that. Find that existing feature. Then find the hardscape elements that go around that, identify those. Then look for your planting beds, your grass edges, all that, whatever is going to kind of walk you through what the flow of the space is and how you go. And then understand what your trees, what your shrubs, what your perennials, what your annuals are. And then just go through and just start reading. As soon as you read labels and text, you can get a better sense of what it is that you've got. So I hope you learned something today. If you did, please, by all means, go down below, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, whatever you want to do. I would love to hear from you. I'm Dave Marciniak with Revolutionary Gardens. Until next time, get outside and play.